Wells Fargo, the biggest bank in the world, just stated that XRP will be priced between $100 and $500 over the course of the next 2 to 7 months. It's crucial to remember that Wells Fargo is the same company that believes a staggering 650 trillion will really enter the XRP ledger through the real estate market by the end of 2026. Therefore, it is anticipated that XFPA will reach a stunning $100 to $500 in the first 2 to 3 months of 2026, and by the end of 2026, XFPS would have increased to 9,818. And the reason for this is that the $650 trading dollar market could start to develop as early as next week. Wells Fargo is hardly the only company that genuinely thinks that XRP will rise to $500 and that its globalization is imminent. Instead, the world's largest banks have the same viewpoint. For example, look at this report from JP Morgan verifying that the usage of XRP for all payments has been authorized by JP Morgan Chase. This covers mortgage payments as well as credit card payments. You can now use XRP to pay your JP Morgan bills. This indicates unequivocally that JP Morgan believes XRP will soar. According to the article, JP Morgan has a fund called the 7.5% XRP Fund. This simply indicates that JP Morgan has been steadily building up with the aim of investing all of their money in XRP in order to reach 7.5% of their overall net worth. Thus, it is clear that JP Morgan expects XRP prices to increase, and this is exactly in line with Wells Fargo's forecast of 500 within the next few months and 9,000 within the next year. Additionally, Bank of America has followed suit by partnering with Drupal to accept payments using XRP. You will therefore probably witness significant supply shock contracts for XRP over the course of the next few weeks. Here we discuss the most significant price errors that have been happening, which correspond to the precise amount of $9,118 that you are currently viewing on the screen. Because the price of XRP has fluctuated over $9,164 over the past few days, occurring on multiple platforms and at various levels. For instance, in the exchange depicted in the image, the price of XRP surged from $3.02 to almost $9,760. Here's another illustration of how XRP has soared to above 247.83. Furthermore, despite what everyone says this is not a price glitch, we can actually prove that this is not a price problem because Gemini, one of the largest exchanges, carried XRP. After XRP surged to $50 on Gemini, Gemini openly said that this was a major supply shock rather than a pricing malfunction. Indeed, in only 5 minutes, there was so much demand for XRP, worth millions of dollars, that there was insufficient supply, which led to a severe supply shock and a severely suppressed surplus in the price of XRP. We're talking about XRP going from $1 at the time to over $50 in actual transactions. In other words, depending on how much XRP they ultimately sold, people were gaining millions of dollars by selling XRP for $50. And this will occur once again, and it will happen as early as next week, as the $650 trillion injection that no one is discussing will cause one of the largest supply shocks to hit XRP. It will occur, and it will do so unexpectedly. And during a very little period of time, people who have their buy and sell orders set will reach those milestones and be able to sell XRP for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Prior to discussing the date, the specifics, and the schedule, we really collaborated with Uphold to provide up to $100 worth of free XRP to each and every viewer of this video. Here is your chance to get some free XRP by signing up on Uphold, using my link in the description and completing the transaction. XRP is currently trading at $2.06, but it has the potential to reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It takes less than 5 minutes to complete. Literally, it's free money. Since there isn't much time left before the end of the month, I strongly advise you to take advantage of this. Thus, spread the news by telling your friends and relatives. How will this supply shock occur then? And why is the $650 trillion market that will soon materialize right on the Accept B letter the topic of constant discussion? It all boils down to RealFi, a huge organization that now enables you to purchase real estate straight from the acceptance letter. Additionally, the public is not aware of this effort. Despite being a multi-trillion-dollar sector with exponential growth, not many people are aware of it. Additionally, they made it very evident that RealFi is a payment award solution that unlocks $639 trillion in the payment awards business and real estate market. And the True Token, which is based on XRP, is facilitating all of this on the XRP ledger. In addition to fixing a multi-trillion-dollar issue, this token is the real deal. However, its availability is extremely limited. Roughly 22 million Phase 1 supply, with a maximum of 1 billion, which is nothing. And considering that this cryptocurrency is only 3 or 4 months old, it is a pretty recent initiative. Additionally, this item's value decreased from 100,000 to roughly 2 cents. And as more and more money is put into it, we'll see it continue to soar. Additionally, it was only listed in May. Adoption is on the horizon. Consider the $650 trillion market entering the real token space. With such a small quantity, what would the real token pricing be? Experts are actually saying this right now. Just look at this. It's crazy. According to reports, Ripple is rebranding as Ripple National Trust Bank and becoming a fully licensed financial institution. What's more bizarre, though, the price would rise from 2 cents to more than $65,000 if just 1% of the $650 trillion market actually invested in genuine tokens. They're not telling you that. However, on the back end, organizations like Ripple, the financial industry, and banks are all genuinely investing in the real token. And for that reason, it is being adopted. And for this reason, despite the lack of a large-scale marketing campaign and the fact that people are not discussing it, it is becoming widely used and its price is skyrocketing. As I mentioned before, the project's genuine token surged by hundreds of thousands of percentage points, from a little hundredth of a penny to over 2 cents, before it was ever featured on the mix. And this is going to occur once again. The big adoption that is being discussed is set to occur as early as next week. We're talking about XRP skyrocketing, $200. When you think about it, the only way XRP can rise is if it gains access to nearly every aspect of the global wealth sector. And how will that take place? The price will skyrocket if RealFi enters the $650 trillion market, which it clearly does with the real token. Additionally, XRP's supply will be shocked as the price rises. Therefore, not only will real tokens soar, but XRP will also experience a pump, since once more a significant supply shock to the XRP ledger price is the only way for XRP to do so. I'm not an advisor on finances. Conduct independent research. Next time, I'll see you.